to the Rocket Money Kickoff. Over the last month, the football gods have spun the ACC's wheel of destiny with reckless abandon and maniacal laughter. Louisville felt it last week. Clemson has felt it all season. Paul Carcaterra and Andre Ware were with both teams before the game. We begin with Paul.
Clemson is second all-time in terms of college football playoff appearances. So the standard is really high in Death Valley. So at 4-5, what do they have to play for? Well, I had a chance to speak to leading tackler and linebacker Sammy Brown, and he told me the opportunity to play football is more important than the outcome. And this team is razor focused right now. And the biggest challenge they'll have in front of them tonight is dealing with Kewan Brown and the Louisville rushing attack.
Yeah, thanks, Cart. Yeah, it's going to be because of guys like Kewan Brown, who ran for 136 last week. That's the chance, the slight chance that Louisville has to make the college football playoff. But it's the skill position players, guys like Lacey on the outside, guys like Chris Bell, highly rated for this year's upcoming draft, that will be the difference in this one tonight. The vertical passing game of Louisville, if they can push the ball down the field as well as run it consistently with a guy like Kewan Brown, Louisville will be a problem down the stretch.
As they say in this town, Louisville has a puncher's chance. And Ashraf here, what the Cardinals need to do, they need to keep winning their conference games, and they need that ACC chaos as we look at tonight's Rocket Money Spotlight. Louisville has an 8% chance to get to the ACC championship game. It's going to take, again, winning. It's going to take Georgia Tech and Pittsburgh both losing at least one more league game. And then you got to work through potential tiebreakers. If Clemson wins tonight, they take a Louisville slugger to the Cardinals' kneecaps and their playoff hopes. Kickoff from Derby City is next. This has been the Rocket Money Kickoff. From Louisville, Kentucky, it's ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Ram Trucks, all a part of the ACC on ESPN. Clemson won the toss, elects to receive. While this game is a lot different than maybe what we expected at the beginning of the season, if you are a fan of an NFL team, this is a game to watch, Andre.
Yeah.
We may have 4 potential first-round picks tonight.
A couple of stars on this one, or in this one. Clemson with T.J. Parker as the #1 outside linebacker. You look at Avion Terrell, #2 cornerback. And then Peter Woods, he's a dude, #1 defensive tackle. All these according to Mel Kiper. And then Chris Bell on the offensive side. He can get it done for Louisville in a hurry.
Dabo Swinney this week used the analogy of a car that's been beat up on the exterior, but the engine still runs. He believes in this team's culture. They got a much-needed win against Florida State last week. They're still seeking bowl eligibility. He feels this team is as close and tightly knit together as any team he's had.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they've gone through a lot this season, certainly haven't met the Clemson expectations or the expectations of Dabo Swinney for that matter, but it's turned into a fun year because when you get on the losing side or you lose a ball game, it forces you to look in the mirror and it forces you to make some changes, a few changes here and there.
Meanwhile, Jeff Brom now in season 3. Boy, Louisville was in the driver's seat in terms of getting to the ACC championship before last week. He felt his team is lacking explosive plays. We may see some Jeff Brom gadget plays tonight.
But I tell you what, they play hard. His teams play hard. They bring it after the game's over. The opponent, they feel Louisville.
A bouncing kick, and it rolls into the end zone for a touchback. The quarterback for Clemson, the senior from Austin, Texas, Cade Klubnik. This is a kid who has battled ankle and quad injuries over the last month. He only missed 1 game. That was the loss to SMU. Dabo Swinney and his teammates have raved about his toughness. He's basically Frankensteined it together right now.
Yeah, he's from a great high school, a great program in Austin at Westlake High School. They're ranked this year in the state rankings, starting the playoffs in Texas tonight. As a matter of fact, Drew Brees attended school there, won a Super Bowl. Nick Foles attended high school there, won a Super Bowl. Could a Super Bowl be in the future for Cade Klubnik?
Quick throw on first down. That is Adam Randall, a converted wide receiver, flashing those receiving skills. 27th catch of the season and a first down.
Keep an eye on the blocks on the outside. Guys like Antonio Williams. We're going to call his name a lot tonight. Olsen Pat Henry, the tight end, blocking on the edges. The unselfish stuff that you love to see as a player and a coach. They're off to a pretty good start with that completion of Adam Randall, who is a monster in the backfield. I can't believe this guy used to play receiver. 6'2", 235 pounds. Seems like the ideal back for Clemson.
Tristan Smith, the motion man. Klubnik under pressure, and down he goes. It's Clev Lubin coming up with the sack, his 5th of the year.
Went right off the edge. He's going to go around a pretty good player in Blake Miller, the right tackle. A lot of people have him highly ranked as well, and he just gives it to him upfield, and then the up and under, and making his way to Cade Klubnik.
Into the game for Louisville, Stanquan Clark. First game since week 2 against James Madison when he suffered a leg injury.
Yeah.
And he is one of the leaders on this Louisville defense. They have him back tonight. A handoff here on 2nd and long, and out across the 40-yard line, out to the 41 for a gain of 10.
That's why he's so easy to like, Adam Randall. He is a guy that runs with patience, and looks like maybe a shoulder or some type of arm injury's got him checking out the game. We may see the freshman, true freshman, Gideon Davis, who, if you think Randall can run it, I mean, they didn't give him the number 9 by accident. This guy can play. He's explosive. Born in Ghana, but Gideon Davidson can flat out get it.
Davidson goes wide left, an empty set on 3rd and long. Klubnik wants a diving Antonio Williams, who's about a yard shy. Williams is a guy that this team wants to feature in a lot of ways. Gadget plays, speed sweeps, jet sweeps. 4th down, offense remains out on the field. They bring in Bettenker, an extra tight end.
They want to feature Williams in this game a lot. He has excellent balance when he's contacted by defenders, and the hands, just saw him on full display there.
Quarterback sneak on 4th down, and Klubnik moves the chains, and Andre, to your heart's delight, it was done from under center.
Under center, yes, sir, because you have to sit there as a defensive lineman not knowing when the ball's going to be snapped and when the play's actually coming at you. And Klubnik can sit there for as long as he wanted, and did for a while. Made it an easy conversion on 4th down for Clemson.
I'm glad. It's good for your blood pressure, too. You
Can't have the blood pressure up early in the first quarter.
When they go into shotgun on 4th and short. On the out route, it's T.J. Moore who hauls it in. Another Clemson first down to the Louisville 40. Tigers coming off a win against Florida State last week. Sterling defensive effort in that game. Klubnik, who's a 3rd-year starter, he's basically in the top 5 in most passing categories in Clemson history.
He is a threat with his legs. Also,
this is Williams on the fly sweep. Again, finding a number of different ways to get him the ball.
Yeah, he's magical when he gets it in his hands, and they wanted to feature him a lot in this game. He is a weapon, a big-time weapon, and a guy that just seems to get it done when the ball comes his way. Their top receiver with Brian Wesco Jr. out. And Antonio Williams has certainly elevated his play.
Two tight ends here on 2nd and 5. Quick throw over the middle. That's complete. It's the tight end, Olsen Pat Henry, and he rumbles into the red zone for a Clemson first down.
Yeah, he is a big target at about 6'4", 240. Knows that his zone, kind of throttles down right over the ball and presents a nice big target for Cade Klubnik.
Empty set. Trips to the boundary. They set up the screen. It's Davidson. Works the sideline near the 10. Marked out of bounds at the 8-yard line. And it continues what's been a very good-looking opening drive for Clemson.
Yeah, I talked about that number 9. A couple of pretty good players that have worn that. Travis Etienne being one, the last to wear it at Clemson. It means something when you get that number as a running back at that university.
Wayne Gallman also, I believe, wore number 9.
Yep.
This will be the 10th play of the drive. It's a direct snap. And Randall is taken down by Stanquan Clark. Going into the year, he and TJ Quinn were the twin spires of this defense. They've missed him.
Yeah, you see him just kind of read it out and then make his way to Randall. They have missed his leadership. Though Caleb Perry has played well in his absence, he's not quite Stanquan Clark, who they really depend on in this defense. This is a drive similar to last week for Clemson when they went down on the opening drive against Florida State. 13 plays in that drive, and they put it, into the end zone.
They're going to have to burn a timeout. They didn't break
Clemson
the
takes its
huddle,
first time out of the half.
and the play clock was already down to 3. Timeout by Clemson. It's a drive north of 6 minutes. The Tigers facing a 3rd and 5 when we come back. Impressive opening drive for Clemson, and they're doing it against one of the top defenses in college football.
And balance. 5 runs, 5 passes in this 10-play sequence.
Klubnik, a perfect 5 for 5, and he's completed a pass to 5 different receivers.
That'll keep you off balance defensively. You don't know where you're going to get hit.
Pat Henry, the motion man, on 3rd and 5. Swing pass to Randall. And let's see how they rule that. No signal yet. Now ruled incomplete. It is 4th down. It was a forward pass. And Nolan Hooser will come on for a field goal try.
Should be well within his range. Hit from 50 against BC and 43 last week in the game against Florida State.
At 56 in 30-degree weather in Charlotte to win the ACC championship against SMU last year. A 27-yard chip shot. And Hooser has now made 9 consecutive field goals. A 12-play drive taking up more than 6 minutes off the clock. Clemson on the board first.
ESPN College Football Primetime is presented by Ram, official sponsor of the College Football Playoff.
Some of those early pictures paints a portrait of a coach as a young man. Dabo Swinney at Clemson, 7 playoff appearances, 4 appearances in a championship game, 2 national titles, 8 ACC championships, and that's the confounding part about this season being 4 and 5 right now. Clemson checked off all the boxes going into the year. They had roster continuity. They had an experienced quarterback. They had next level talent across the board. And it's been just a nightmare of real things. 4 and 5. We're not expected to talk about Clemson at this juncture in the season just trying to get to a bowl game.
Without mentioning playoff and having them in that conversation. Yeah, it's one of those deals where it's hard to see, it's hard to fathom, but here they are, and here comes Miller Moss, who has done a heck of a job this season. 63% on the year for Louisville, 11 touchdown passes, and you want to cut those interceptions down with 6 on the season.
He struggled in the loss to Cal last week, and what Jeff Brom told us, they need more vertical throws, more passes downfield to keep defenses honest. And he's facing a defense with 3 projected first-rounders. On first down, Louisville keeps it on the ground, and it's to the running back, Kewan Brown, as we check in with Paul.
You guys were talking about Dabo and this 4-5 team. He told us this week, if you watch this practice, you think we're playing for a national championship. This team has unreal leadership. This season is a comma. The story for Clemson football continues.
On the slant, it's Chris Bell, one of the top receivers in college football. There's a flag down.
They're rated to go pretty high in the NFL draft. This kid can play.
Personal foul, shot block, offense number 70 and number 53. Penalty being enforced after distance to the goal. Second down.
This is what Jeff Brom lamented to us. Ill-timed penalties from the offensive line.
Yeah, you get a big play to Chris Bell, and then you're going to see Lance Robinson and Trevante Sylvester go low. Actually, it's Nigra, the center, along with Sylvester.
That was about as cut and dry as it gets. Go back to Kewan Brown. Got away from Peter Woods.
Nice
and finally wrestled down by Wade Woodaz. Kewan Brown now RB1 with Isaac Brown injured. Clemson's top running back out.
When you get away from Peter Woods, you have accomplished something. He's washed down. He's pretty much wrapped up. He continues to fight. Got away from Woods and then picked up a couple of yards there. Nice run there by Brown.
A 3-man rush on 3rd and long. There's the check down to Kewan Brown. Well shy of the marker. It's 4th down.
Just playing some zone, forcing the ball out of Miller Moss's hands. Not going to give up anything deep in that situation to Louisville, and the penalty hurts. I mean, Nigra and Sylvester, that chop block, that hurt. It put them in behind the change or behind the sticks and created a tough spot to try to pick up a first down and keep this drive moving.
Louisville had scored touchdowns in the last 4 games on their opening drives. David Chapeau with a good punt. Antonio Williams makes the catch, can't get away. He's down at the 25-yard line. Clemson's second possession coming up. Our associate producer on Friday nights is Jeremy Drummond. He does an outstanding job. He's not in the control room tonight. He is with his mom, Jody, and for a great reason. Jody rang the bell today. It was awesome. Her final chemo treatment. We're proud of you. We're happy for you, Jody. And Jeremy, we're glad you could be with Mom on this momentous day.
Congrats, Miss Drummond. Big prayers. And Jay, get back, man. We understand where you got to be tonight. That's for sure. Totally understood that one.
Adam Randall picks up 4 on first down. NFL scouts are intrigued by Randall, who spent 3 years as a wide receiver. You mentioned his size. Cordero Patterson,
yeah.
Is that a comp?
Yeah, that's a nice comparison. I like that one because he gives you so much. He's an excellent receiver. You know that because of his background. But when you see him run the football, it never registers that he was a receiver beforehand.
Klubnik's throw is hauled in, and that's going to be enough for a first down. Cole Turner.
Gentlemen, I spoke to Adam Randall this week. He has only played the running back position for 11 months. Never played in youth or in high school. And when he changed positions from wide receiver to running back, Cordell Patterson was one of those players he looked at. Derrick Henry was another one. But watch him tonight, too. It looks like his upper body is bothering him. We saw him leave earlier in the first quarter. He's got some tape around that high bicep area on the left arm. Something to look at.
We'll keep an eye out for it. Klubnik downfield. In traffic, incomplete. He had Antonio Williams open on the sideline.
Looks like.
Instead tried to fit it into TJ Moore, who remains down.
Yeah, Moore he's in some pain.
Remember, they already lost Bryant Wesco for the season. Antonio Williams missed some time early in the year with a hamstring.
You don't want to lose players at any spot, but that's a room that's kind of deep with Williams and Tristan Smith, Cole Turner. And then you can get some production out of the tight end room as well, but they sure want to get TJ Moore back into this game.
TJ Moore, a sophomore from Key West, and able to jog off on his own. Had a couple of 100-yard games this season against UNC and SMU.
Hopefully he's okay, and we'll get a chance to see him later on in the game.
Cole Turner into the game for Moore. There goes Williams, the motion man. They get it to him on the screen. A little light at the end of the tunnel, and it brings up third down.
Well, what it does is it gets them back on schedule, and we can keep an eye on that as the game progresses. Nothing on first down. They're going to try to get it to a playmaker, whether it's Pat Henry, Williams, maybe TJ Moore if he's back in the game, or Cole Turner, who is lined up at the top of the screen. It could be 4-down territory as well as you're approaching midfield.
Another screen. Williams slipped, and he gets turf monstered for a loss. Fourth down.
And I think they'll go ahead and punt it away and play field position. You're on the road. You have a lead. You want to, stay true to that and force Louisville to earn it rather than just giving away field position, short fields, and easy scores. They've got skill position players. This Louisville, they can put up points.
And Colin Lacey might be the best punt returner in America. He's returned 2 punts for a touchdown this season, 3 for his career. Awaits the Jack Smith kick, and he will make a fair catch at the 12-yard line. Let's take a look at the college football headlines presented by Edward Jones. Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, and Alabama, the top 4, but it's a 12-team playoff these days. Virginia and Duke, huge showdown tomorrow. The winner has better than a 3-4 chance to get to the ACC title game.
It's gonna be a heck of a game.
And then you've got the rematch of last year's SEC championship with Texas and Georgia. Texas.
That game's where? In Athens?
That game is in Athens.
Gotta ride with the Bulldogs.
Flag down is Kewan Brown. Kept the feet churning, making Duke Watson. But this one may come back. Watson has not really been able to rip off the big play this year.
Personal foul. Illegal use of hands to the face. Defense, number 13. 15-yard penalty. First down.
This will help the transfer from Purdue. All 6'6" of it. There's not much he can do and get away with it on a football field that kind of size. Tell you what, Duke Watson, that was an impressive run. I mean, he broke a couple of tackles, and he only goes about 180 pounds. Got his hand under what looked like Musa's face mask.
Over the middle, that's complete to Jaleel Skinner. Upended by Khalil Barnes at the 49. A pickup of 15 by the tight end.
Well, these two guys remind me a lot of each other. Olsen Pat Henry and Jaleel Skinner. Skinner reminds me a lot of the kid with the Falcons at tight end.
Watson is in for a loss. Sammy Brown, the middle linebacker, who defensive coordinator Tom Allen says is the MVP of the defense.
He hits everything. I mean, everything. Leads the team in tackles with 67 coming into tonight's ball game. A bunch of sacks. They like to use him in that manner as well, and they blitz him a lot. So he will come off the corner, up the middle, through the A-gap, to the Garden Center. We get production out of Sammy Brown.
Saw Tom Allen, who was with Penn State last year. How about that strike on the slants? Chris Bell rumbling all the way to the 38-yard line. And they say that is a catch.
You imagine this guy was a backup 2 seasons ago, just kept working, got his body in shape, got himself in shape, and now going to be one of the higher chosen wide receivers in this coming draft.
Screen pass. This is Lacey.
This is
He is thrown to the ground inside the 35-yard line. Sammy Brown was in there.
He is used a lot like Antonio Williams for Clemson. They'll move him around, they'll line him up everywhere, and they just want to get him the ball in space and let him do his thing. He is magical. Some of that punt return stuff you were talking about, it shows up within the offense as well when he gets it in space.
2 years ago, he had 1,300+ yards receiving at South Alabama. Watson remains in the game. Here comes the blitz. They set up the middle screen. It is dropped.
They had it set up well. I mean, he had about 3 offensive linemen in front of him. The defensive line had disappeared from the line of scrimmage, rushing the quarterback. Everything you wanted was there. I mean, look at all the running room and the blocks in front in this area. One guy with 3 to block to take care of him. It's just all the green grass in front of Watson, or turf for that matter.
3rd down now. Moss moves the pocket. In trouble. Keeps the play alive. Little sidestep and a lot of running for a whole yard. Cade Denhoff stayed right with him. It's 4th down.
The coaches love him, Denhoff. He just plays every single snap as if it's his last. And I tell you what, Moss could not get by him. Louisville here with a chance to tie this baby up.
Has a terrific kicker in Cooper Ranvier. 15 of 17 on the season. This from 51, it would be a new career long. And Ranvier ties the game at 3. For 20 years, Allstate has celebrated every field goal and extra point made at participating universities by donating to the university's athletic scholarship fund, supporting all student athletes. Thank you to Allstate.
It didn't take Louisville long to answer the Clemson field goal. Went right down the field, put a nice drive together, and points on the board.
Part of the mystery tonight for Louisville. How do you bounce back? They were right in the mix for everything. College football playoff, ACC championship game. They were expected to win at home against Cal, lose in overtime. The defense gave up the most yards and most passing yards it had given up all season. How do you bounce back? What is there to play for? But again, is it a long shot for Louisville? Yes. But they still have a shot. 8% chance to get to the ACC
as long as there's a shot,
title game.
You play for it. You keep it out there as on your goal board, and you shoot for it. And that's exactly what Jeff Brom had a chance to visit with him down on the field. It's exactly what he said they're going to do. I mean, they have no control over some things. What they do have control over is how they play and what product they put on the field.
In this league, I don't think anybody expects things to go according to plan.
No. It's just everybody knocking off everybody.
Big Saturday on ABC. Game day is in the Steel City. Pitt's won 5 in a row with a true freshman quarterback. Notre Dame, remember, they started 0-2. They've won 7 in a row. They're in the top 10. Oklahoma looking to stay in the playoff. Polaroid, Alabama, if they continue to win in league play, they'll play in the SEC championship. How about this? The All-State playoff predictor, Oklahoma with a win, 55%. With a loss, you're down to 11%.
That's tough if you lose it. That's for sure for Oklahoma. I wouldn't have given it that high of a percentage.
Klubnik with a low throw. It is incomplete for Tristan Schmidt. Pressure by Justin Beatles. And there's a flag in the secondary.
It's usually a hold where the flag is situated.
Holding. Defense number 24 of an eligible pass receiver. 10-yard penalty automatic. First down.
It's Corey Gordon.
Yeah, the Baylor transfer. Just keep an eye on the slot receiver there. And Corey Gordon just kind of flings Williams to the ground. They're going to call that one, big guy, every single time.
TJ Moore back in the game, lined up at the top of your screen. Not much on the ground, a gain of a yard. Stanquan Clark with the tackle. It was Davidson getting the call.
He has been getting time earlier and earlier each week, which means the coaches are gaining confidence in the freshman. They talked to us a little bit, Garrett Riley did, about his ability to protect the passer. And that was a concern early in the year, but he's proven that he's gotten better in that area, and it's earned him more playing time.
Especially the last 2 weeks. And that brings us to the end
of the first quarter.
Of quarter number 1. A field goal by Hoosier, a field goal by Ranvier accounts for the scoring. Tied at 3 after 1 in Louisville.
With Clemson head coach Dabo Swinney. Coach, Louisville has one of the best statistical defenses in the country. What's the best way to attack this unit?
Well, we got to do the routine things. We came out with a great 11-play drive. We drop a ball. We should have been inside on the counter. So we got to execute with precision with the things we control, because they're a really good unit. And then right there, we had another drop, but they got a chance right here. And then defensively, great 3 and out to start it. We just got to take it one play at a time and everybody do their job.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Well, that helps. Antonio Williams, high points one for a first down at the 35 of Louisville. D'Angelo Hutchinson, the Cardinals starting safety, is out.
Offense number 71. 10-yard penalty, second down.
That's been
Hutchinson is down. He's their number 2 tackler, senior from St. Pete. Coming into the game, Louisville wasn't sure if they would have their top corner, Tayon Holloway. Holloway did play. He's been in there.
Yeah, Hutchinson, since coming back from an injury a couple of seasons ago, he's been pretty healthy. Last year, played in every single game on the schedules in all 13. Has a ton of experience and is a very extremely consistent player on the back end for Louisville's defense.
Last
He'll be
year,
okay. Yeah.
when Louisville beat Clemson, Louisville had 2 blocked kicks, including 1 by Hutchinson.
Well, he means a lot to that man's defense, to Ron English's defense. And you want to talk about aggressive, he can bring it and loves bringing it and will bring it.
When Kark was talking to Dabo Swinney, Kark mentioned Louisville's vaunted pass defense, number 1 in the ACC, and that's why last week was such an aberration as Hutchinson walks off the field.
Keep an eye on Tristan Lee, who just kind of gets beaten inside and just grabs. And it's A.J. Green, the 6'6" redshirt sophomore, that got inside position on Lee. They've got a couple of good ones. A.J. Green, Micah Carter on the other side, both redshirt sophomores, and both go about 6'6", 250 respectively. Future looks bright for Jeff Brom in this program.
Hutchinson, meanwhile, in the tent. Corey Gordon takes his place. On 2nd and long. This is Gideon Davidson. You can see why they're encouraged by the freshman from Lynchburg.
I'll have something on Hutchinson momentarily, but good news for Clemson. TJ Moore, 1 and white, is back in the game. He was getting some attention by the training staff on the right shoulder, so that takes some pressure off of Antonio Williams, because Moore is that deep threat. Williams so good underneath and can do a ton of things with the gadget plays.
Moore lines up at the bottom of your screen on 3rd and 9. Klubnik chased. That ball off the hand of Williams. Pressure by Cleb Lubin. Clemson to punt again. And another try back deep for the dangerous Colin Lacey.
It's no easy win when you're facing this Louisville defense. They can get after you. They can bring pressure. They can play zone behind it. You're going to see a lot of different looks from Ron English. His defenses play through the whistle. He expects the front seven to have a big game every single week, and they usually deliver.
Smith gets this one away.
Good punt.
Lacey can't navigate the sideline. His momentum carries him out of bounds. 48-yard punt by Smith. No return.
Introducing Verts. Swipe for news and highlights. Now available on the ESPN app.
Louisville with an 8% shot to get to the ACC championship entering tonight. Hopes hanging on by a gossamer thin thread. Miller Moss finds Kewan Brown, and he has had to step up as the top running back. You think about what they lost, Andre, and Isaac Brown. When he went down, he was second in the ACC in rushing yards, and he gave them a big play capability every single time he touched it.
Didn't play last week, and he was already just under 800 yards for the season, averaging just under 9 yards per carry. That shows you what, or tells you what Isaac Brown is about.
They give it to Kewan Brown. That's what he does. He runs through people into the second level, and he takes Ricardo Jones out of bounds after a gain of 23.
They are a nice 1-2 combination, a 1-2 punch. Brown and Brown, the law firm of Brown and Brown, and this is Kewan Brown. Tough inside runner between the tackles. Doesn't have quite the breakaway speed that Isaac Brown does, but gets the job done in a much different way. Went for 136 on the ground last week against Cal.
He averaged 108 on the ground over his last 3. Yards per carry at 9 a pop. He steamrolls forward close to midfield. 5 yards on first down.
And they will continue to lean on this offensive line. Looks like Big Vic Burley, the defensive tackle, is down for Clemson.
Injured player of the defense.
Clemson a little thin up front. Stephylan Green, one of their starters on that D-line, already out today. ESPN College Football Primetime is presented by Ram Trucks. 3-3 here in the second quarter in Derby City. Anish Shroff, Andre Ware, Paul Carcaterra. Isaac Brown with the chains and the puffer jacket was having another great season. He was averaging almost 100 yards per game, 8.6
itching to play
per carry.
Yeah, itching to get in the game. He was talking to Kewan Brown during that timeout. He's sharing some running back knowledge with his counterpart. Both guys are sophomores and complement one another very well.
Koriski, the tight end, motions. Clemson cheating up. They bring pressure off the edge. Brown hit and then gobbled up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain. Clemson read that. Will Helt amongst those getting in there.
He and Jeremiah Alexander also in there, the team's third linebacker. They run this 4-2 front, and they keep a what they call their tiger position. It's kind of a linebacker slash defensive back type in the game. But then when they go three linebackers, it's Alexander that sees the field.
They bring the nickel blitz. Moss gets hit, looking for Bell. It's incomplete. Corey and Gibson shot into the backfield untouched, and Miller Moss got lit up.
He stood in there, and I think once his focus went to the sideline to deliver that pass to Chris Bell, he never saw the blitzer. And he's so locked in on Bell that, man, he stood in there to the last possible second. And here comes the blitzer, and it's a late blitz, so you take your eyes away from it. Just took a nice little shot to the ribs.
Chapeau punts it away. Williams makes the fair catch inside the 10. He had to make a business decision there. You let that bounce. Louisville may pin it even deeper. Usually you let that one go. We remind you that it is already week 11 of the NFL, and the Sunday Countdown crew gets you ready at 10 a.m. Eastern. We'll go into the origins of the Bills Mafia table smashing, and then
it'll be a great game there at Seahawks and Rams. Wow.
How about Monday night? Cowboys and Raiders. It is the Quinnen Williams Dallas debut, and you wonder how Dallas reacts. It's been a rough week for them. They're coming off a bye. Obviously, the death of Marshawn Nealand in the interim. Here's the toss. Randall can't handle it. Loose ball. Louisville says they have it, and they do.
Randall took his eyes off the pitch for just a split second, and in that split second, disaster happened.
Ruling on the field, it was a forward pass, therefore incomplete.
Yeah.
It'll be second down.
And I agree with that. And looking at the replay, it looked like the ball was pitched in front of Adam Randall. Matt, what are you seeing on this play?
Yeah, Andre, I agree with you 100%. It's where the ball leaves the quarterback hands compared to where it's touched by the receiver. I do think this is definitely a forward pitch, and it should be a forward pass.
Well, a good thing for Cade Klubnik, along with Adam Randall, that's how it worked out, because any other pitch like that would have been behind the line of scrimmage. I think he just outran the quarterback, and he had to pitch it forward, which threw the timing of everything off.
An incomplete pass, which is the best of all outcomes for Clemson.
Yes.
And it's going to be second down and 10, and that was clearly a forward pass. Louisville crowds the box. They go right back to the ground. Not a whole lot for Randall. It's third down, and now let's see if Ron English dials up pressure.
My guess would be yes.
If you're Clemson, how aggressive are you? Or do you just try to run it, give your punter some room?
I'm trying to pick up the first down, but I'm not going to do it at the expense of a turnover. So they've got Klubnik in the shotgun here. He should be able to see things. As of right now, they only have 5 possibles that could come.
Klubnik's in his own end zone. That is juggled. And incomplete. Fourth down.
Tristan Smith had a golden opportunity. Had run his route deep enough past the sticks that needs to pick up the first down and then just flat out drop it. Nice job of improvising here by Klubnik, and that ball's thrown well. That's why you can't wait for it to get to your chest. Catch the ball with your hands and you don't have a problem.
And you see the frustration on Dabo Swinney's face.
Gotta have that one, especially on third down this deep, because it changes field position.
And he got Lacey waiting near midfield. Gets it away. It's a short kick. Not a good one. Bounces at the 40 and downed inside the 40-yard line. Just a 32-yard punt. Louisville starts with premium field position. Here's our College Football Award Spotlight, brought to you by the Home Depot, featuring the Paycom Jim Thorpe Award. One of the semifinalists, Clemson cornerback Avion Terrell. A couple of sacks last week. He has the most sacks of any cornerback in the Dabo Swinney era. And you talk about bloodlines. Brother AJ is an all-pro corner and a former first-round pick out of Clemson, now with the Atlanta Falcons.
Play him anywhere, over the slot, out wide. Just makes plays.
Play action. There's the deep shot. It's Bell. Catch in stride and pulled down near the pylon at the 1-yard line.
I'm wondering if that was a horse collar by Hannafin, running Hannafin, the defensive back, on the tail end of this. But what a throw. That's a heck of a toss by Miller Moss. Maybe it was a jersey. I don't know. That started as horse collar and should have been.
I may look at this to see if he got in.
Going on the field is a completed catch for a first down. That plays under further review.
Let's bring in Matt Austin, our rules expert, with us again on Friday night. Ruling on the field was a catch. Well, let's go to the Game Day Operations Center first.
Okay. So the ruling on the field is that the player was out of bounds short of the goal line, correct?
1 yard line, right. Hey guys,
Okay.
Mike's here. Ruling on the field is a completed catch short of the goal line.
Which one?
The first one you were on.
This one? So right now we're trying to identify the ball here. And we're looking here at the ball.
If he fumbles it short of the goal line or if it hits the pylon.
Yeah. Correct. So right now we're looking, we see control of the ball. Control. Then we see that the body part is either going out of bounds, and then we're looking to see if that butt is out of bounds, as well as whether or not that ball is.
Well, once the ball hits, it's out too anyways, right?
Correct.
If he has control and he hasn't touched out of bounds, that's a touchdown.
I agree. Yep.
See if we got any other shots. Is TV giving us anything else?
Not that I'm seeing.
Well, let's try the high end zone.
The handheld is a good one.
So based off of this is the far handheld.
Yeah.
Okay, do that
and then
once
I don't,
more. Yeah, do that
and
once
then
more.
I don't even.
I think he's losing it when it hits his knee, don't you,
I
Mark?
agree. I think his ball is losing it, and then I don't even believe the ball doesn't even. I'm not even sure if it even touches the pylon.
Yeah,
at this
I can't
point.
say that from
I
here.
can't.
Can we go back to the other side and see if that loose ball? We now know it's loose, right?
We agree. The ball is loose short of the goal line, and now I am not sure whether or not that ball even touches the pylon or whether the body part touches the pylon. Would we all agree the ruling on the field is upheld?
Looks like it could be his leg, yeah.
I don't have enough to be able to overturn the ruling on the field. Is everybody in agreement?
Yeah, with those two shots, I can't.
If okay, Mark, on your side, I would like another side from that side view to see if the ball's. It looked initially, our initial views looked like the ball was rolling on the pylon, but you're right. Maybe the knee. Yeah, that one.
I'm trying to look to see here with the replay B, Mike. When we're looking at this one here, is the body part hitting it or right here?
Dude, that's not telling me anything.
No, that's not telling us anything.
We don't have helmet.
Are we all
pylon
in
cams, right?
No, we do not have pylon cameras.
So the ruling on the field be upheld.
The ruling on the field is upheld.
Yep,
Yes.
agreed.
Thanks everyone.
Guys.
232. And that is play number 52.
After further review, the ruling on the field will be upheld. It'll be first and goal.
Let's bring in Matt Austin now. Matt, that was close to a couple of things. One, did he break the play and get into the end zone? But if that ball is loose and it hits the pylon, that would be a touchback at Clemson football.
Yeah, Nish, you're exactly right. And I'll be honest with you, if I was in the replay booth, that's what I would have ruled. I don't think he ever had a body part down, let alone out of bounds. I think he definitely lost possession of the ball, and it rolled over the top of the pylon. So I think this should have been a touchback in Clemson's ball.
Wow. Instead, it's first down and goal. And Louisville is on the doorstep. They keep it on the ground, and they do not get there. Duke Watson, who had his first touchdown on the ground just last week.
Surprising that it's Watson that they go with the 180-pound back as opposed to the 210-pound back in Kewan Brown. But they did tell us they have a lot of confidence in Duke Watson running between the tackles, even at that size.
They are hoping to get him going. He averaged almost 9 yards a carry last year, around 2.5 entering tonight. Quarterback sneak. Louisville gets the push. And Miller Moss is in for a touchdown.
You just can do so much from a timing standpoint when you're under center. If you snap that ball and he's in the shotgun, it takes a minute, but for the ball to get back there first and foremost, and then the defensive line's reacting. They get penetration before you even start towards the line of scrimmage.
The extra point clanks off the upright, no good, and the score remains 9-3. First PAT missed by Ranvier.
Just pulls it. Snap's good, the hold is good. He just snaps it over to the left, and the upright's not his friend in that situation.
Back to that replay review. Matt Austin thought the ruling should have been overturned. It was awfully close. The officials didn't see that clear and obvious evidence, and that was bang bang. It was awfully close,
right.
But Louisville cashed in partly because of what Clemson did not do on its previous drive. They're pinned deep. Clemson punts, short field. Louisville took advantage.
Yep, and a couple of penalties helping out Louisville in that situation in terms of when Clemson was on offense, helped to pin them back deep. And then they took full advantage. Now you're on the road and you got to swim upstream a little bit. We'll see just how that extra point comes into play, because it will either have Louisville chasing the point or Clemson feeling pretty good about the miss.
Let's get a quick word from Verbo.
As your host, I have some rules. First, no showers longer than 5 minutes. This isn't a spa. That's the rule.
Meanwhile, at a Verbo, get the vacation you expect, and never a hovering host.
Clemson scored on its opening drive. They went 12 plays, 65 yards, 6 minutes plus. Since then, they have not done a whole lot offensively. How do they get this offense untracked?
I think it's just a couple of easy completions for Klubnik. He's a guy that gets hot, and when he does, it's fun to watch him play.
He set up the screen to Moore, and that's a nice, easy completion.
That'll do it. That'll help him in a major way. Looking right, and he comes back to the left with a tunnel screen. A couple of nice blocks out in front. Big Braden Jacobs, son of Brandon Jacobs, out in front leading the way.
How about that kid? 6'7",
yeah,
as the kids say. 355. He's only a freshman.
About 6'7"?
About 6'7". Is that going to die anytime soon?
Not anytime soon.
It needs to.
They are cashing in on that.
Another screen pass. Antonio Williams, he can throw it too, but he'll run. And he picks up about 8. Corey Gordon.
There's your answer right there. How do you get Klubnik going? A couple of easy tunnel screens, a little swing pass out to Antonio Williams. You build the confidence. The offense is moving. Big positive yards. And then he gets going.
And now you use a little tempo. They go back to the screen game. Williams with an opening. And a first down for Clemson. And they are being very intentional in trying to get Antonio Williams the ball in as many different ways as possible.
They told us they wanted to feature him a lot in this game. He He is a guy that, as I mentioned it earlier, excellent balance and the hands that go with it. When he's contacted, you got to make sure you get him on the turf.
From midfield, it's T.J. Moore. Quick throw to the sideline, and it's been short, it's been quick, and it's gotten Cade Klubnik back into a little bit of a rhythm.
And it's been effective because you get Louisville playing off, and that's allowed for the screens, the swing passes. They're in zone there, and they just go drop one off to Antonio Williams and get about half of it, so that they're very much on schedule here on second down. You can run anything on second and 5.
Davidson's the running back. Run game's been inconsistent this year for Clemson. Pressure. Flushed out of bounds. Jordan Carrad led the charge.
You hear the joke about, hey, throw it away, throw it in the stands. He literally almost threw it into the stands. Throwing you the arm strength because the stands are ways away from the playing field. But he gets immediate pressure. Hey, I'm just going to throw it away. And that baby almost gets to the stand, actually bounced up into the stands. I just saw the ball go in there. I'm like, pretty strong arm to get it that deep.
Neither team has converted on third down tonight. Play clock at 1. Another screen. That's a low throw. It's caught. And then lost half a yard.
Yeah.
Cole Turner. Now a decision on fourth down from no man's land.
Clemson's having some problems with the speed of this Louisville defense. I mean, guys are getting off blocks in the face of Klubnik in a hurry and just disrupting things. I mean, they gave up a few plays there, but the result here is going to end in a punt.
Well, if you're going to try a fake punt, this is the area of the field where it's often in play. Not this time. Jack Smith does his job and pins Louisville inside the 10. The Cardinals this season, they've had a knack for playing some drama-filled games.
They trailed in that game
against James Madison. They were down midway through the third quarter. Against Pitt, they were down 17-0 at one point, trailed by 10 at the half, and finally caught up to them against Virginia, a home loss in overtime. Against Miami, they picked off Carson Beck 4 times. The final pick came on a Miami drive at the end of the game where the Hurricanes were deep in Louisville territory, and they were down 16-7 to Virginia Tech. And then last week, Cal on 4th and goal in overtime decides to go for it and go for the win. And Jacob DeJesus with the touchdown reception from Jaron Keave Sangapolatele. Duke Watson brought down, and he gives Louisville some room to breathe. A gain of 6, and the Duke chants rain from
what
the
they're
crowd.
trying to do is get the production that Isaac Brown brings you out of two players. Duke Watson gives you the speed and the home run ability. Kewan Brown gives you the toughness between the tackles. And so all that wrapped up into one is Isaac Brown.
Back to Watson. Been a tough season for him. He's missed time with an injury and just hasn't had that home run ability this year. And you know, Jeff Brom said part of that is they haven't had the vertical passing game to soften up defenses.
Yeah. I mean, they need to drive the ball down the field. They need, you know, one of these receivers, big play receivers. Chris Bell can do it. Lacey as well. And then Skinner, the tight end, who can work the middle of the field and the hash marks. He needs to come alive a little bit more than just 15, 16 catches on the year.
There's Skinner, and that is the first third down conversion of the game.
He's a weapon. 6'5", hard to miss, good hands. Excellent route runner and just continues to get better. Big-time recruit out of high school and looks like a big wide receiver with that 6'5", 230-pound frame. He's going to add some more weight. He will be a guy we'll see play on Sundays.
He began his career at Miami, top 150 player coming out of high school. Watson remains in the game. Off the high snap. To the 25. Clemson says the ball is out. And it's a turnover, and it's Tiger football.
Boy, it looked like Watson had the ball secured. Somebody must have just ripped it out. Nice cut back.
And it's Avion Terrell.
Yeah.
One of those 3 projected first-round picks on this Clemson defense. Now, Jeff Brom told us, hey, we see the Tigers' record, and it's a sentiment echoed by the rest of the ACC. It doesn't align with the talent on the roster.
Right. I mean, a lot of talent on this Clemson team. And right now, we may see some of that talent take a shot here. Get a turnover at this point on the field. It's go deep time.
Antonio Williams, the motion man. Randall up the gut. Adam Randall in for 6.
I guess there's more ways than one to go deep. They choose to do it on the ground with Adam Randall. Hey, broke a tackle, showing you how big and how strong he is. And right along the line of scrimmage, one guy got a hand on him about the second level. And then it was all Adam Randall. It may have been Corey Gordon who got a hand on him, and that's about it.
7th rushing touchdown for Randall. And Hoosiers PAT gives Clemson the lead.
And gentlemen, our Friday night spotlight highlights the touchdown man, Clemson running back Adam Randall, who's from Myrtle Beach. Adam has been named to the All-State Good Works team. He's been everywhere helping people, taking part in community turkey drives, emceeing fundraising events. He's a volunteer youth football counselor. He's a key part of the Randall Foundation, established by his family and awards scholarships to student athletes since 2014. At Clemson, Randall has also participated in service trips in Europe and Africa, and he's been involved with Clemson Life. It's a program which is on campus and helps a group of young men and women with intellectual disabilities. He told me this week his drive to serve others comes from his father, Jerome, and mother, Wanda, who taught him to serve those who aren't as fortunate as he is. And he is an A-plus young man and a heck of a running back, Dre.
Yeah, he has just gotten better. But the more time he has spent at that position, he's gotten better each and every time out.
Now, they saw what he could do on kick returns toward the end of last year. Obviously had the big kick return in the ACC championship, which set up Hoosiers' game-winning field goal. In the offseason, the coaches said, hey, can we hand him the football? Can he do this if we just hand him the football? And
figured it out pretty quickly, didn't he?
He may have a future as a running back in the NFL. Scouts certainly have intrigue with a guy with his skill set. But, you know, to what Kark outlined, we've covered the Clemson program and Dabo Swinney a lot over the years. Service, community work, that's been a staple of the Clemson football program.
Tells you a lot about the guy in charge as well.
Lacey on the screen, pushed out of bounds by Gibson.
What a weapon Lacey is, along with Chris Bell. That missed extra point just kind of standing out on the scoreboard, isn't it?
I just think of the ACC's wheel of destiny.
Yes.
The way it's been spinning. I mean, you had Georgia Tech rolling, and then a few weeks ago they get ambushed by NC State. And we saw what happened last week. Louisville going down to Cal. Virginia losing to Wake Forest. That is complete. It'll set up a 3rd down and 2. Lacey
got hit.
Another catch.
Kind of bent up or bent around awkwardly. And that left around the left ankle. Hate to see it to any player.
Timeout on the field for an injured player of the offense.
Lacey 5'10", 190, and if he's limited, that not only hurts you on offense, it also hurts you on special teams.
Yeah, he is one heck of a return man on punt returns, as well as kickoff returns.
Last year, he had a broken collarbone in camp. Ended up playing in 5 games. Opted out of the season at one point in October. His return was up in the air. But he is back with Louisville.
You want to talk about some production? When he was in South Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
Playing for Major Applewhite. He had over 2,500 receiving yards on 208 catches. 13 touchdowns. His first team all Sun Belt with 91 receptions. 1 year, over 1,300 yards of that. So you talk about a guy that was productive at that level and then came to Louisville and was basically doing the same things. Hate to see him go down.
His last season at South Alabama, he was top 5 nationally in receptions and receiving yards, 91 catches in 2023. And
that was that year he had 1,300 yards and 7 TDs.
Kark will be monitoring Lacey's situation. 2:10 to go in the first half. Slow starts have been a theme for Louisville this season. Now the silver lining is it's only a 1-point game, and they have been a second half team for the better part of the year.
And most of the year they have done exactly that, gotten out slowly, and then they pick things up, usually in the second and the fourth quarters.
3rd and 2 Louisville. We're at the 2-minute timeout. Cards still have all 3 of their timeouts. It's that time of the year. Playoff talk swirling, the ACC in a state of chaos. Final 2 minutes, first half. A powerful run by Keywan Brown. And a first down to the 47, a gain of 14.
Nice mixture of Keywan Brown and Duke Watson. He is the thumper, the thunder, and Duke Watson is the lightning.
6 carries, 50 yards for Brown. He gets it again, and he's met by Wade Woodaz. It's a loss of a yard.
Well, he has got some speed at that other linebacker spot, and he plays sideline to sideline, always flashing. When you turn the video on him and you're prepping for Clemson, this guy's making plays on the defense just about everywhere.
He was Clemson's leading tackler last year. Quick throw, Bell, jarred loose by Barnes.
There's another guy that I really like. If I had an NFL team, I would jump on the table for this kid. Khalil Barnes is a playmaker. He will play in the NFL. There is no doubt about it, and he's always around the football. Multiple forced fumbles. He's the first freshman a couple of years ago in the Dabo era to record multiple fumbles and multiple interceptions. That's as a true freshman. He's just a playmaker on the back end of Clemson's defense.
On third down, it's a four-man twist. Moss's pass batted in the air, and it falls incomplete. Jaheim Lawson got his tiger paw on it.
Boy, they just brought, when they decided to rush, T.J. Parker, one of the best in the country as an edge player, he just kind of dips that shoulder and comes free. It's just a bunch of guys with a, on a free run at Miller Moss.
They have dudes on defense, no doubt. It's just been inopportune breakdowns at the worst times this season for Clemson as Williams calls for a fair catch. Now you go back to the Duke game a few weeks ago. Clemson puts up 40-some-odd points, loses, and just breakdowns in the secondary, breakdowns on defense. They've been hit by the big plays, and that's what's interesting tonight. Clemson's defense has been susceptible to the big play this season. Tom Allen said it's a little bit of a confidence issue at times, and Louisville's looking to find big plays in its offense now without Isaac Brown.
Just hadn't been able to find them without, it coming in the run game. We know that you can find them with Isaac Brown, even Duke Watson and Kewan Brown. But can Chris Bell get himself going? Can Miller Moss push the ball down the field and give Louisville some opportunities to make the big plays in the passing game?
A minute to go. Long throw. That's another drop by Tristan Smith. It's his second drop tonight. 4 by Clemson in this first half.
And he was one of the few transfers that Clemson has taken on out of Southeast Missouri State. He had one come off the 3 on the front of his jersey, and that one right off his hands. And, things are dancing between his ears right now.
He was the one who stepped into a bigger role with the injury to Wesco. Louisville may take a timeout here if they get a stop. Klubnik, quarterback draw. And he's tackled at the 13. Let's see if Louisville elects to stop the clock.
Klubnik's slow to get up.
Remember, he's battled an ankle, he's battled a quad. Clemson's going to huddle, so they're in no rush. That almost seemed like a surrender play. Louisville's, are you surprised Louisville not calling a timeout?
I am, actually. With being down a point, I always say you can't score enough points in the first half of a game. You got an opportunity here. I would stop the clock, see what happens on third down, and maybe try to get the football back.
Instead, both teams content to let the clock bleed, and Clemson's going to call a timeout here.
They do get it out of the locker room.
Clemson takes its second time out of the half.
I'd go for the double dip. So give me a field goal here, and then maybe we do something bigger out of the locker room after halftime.
Oh, you think about it. You got a kicker in Ranvier who's hit from 51. You got 3 timeouts. If you get Clemson to punt, you've got a chance at a short field, and it may only take a couple of plays to give your kicker a chance. Instead, 10 seconds.
Yeah, that last drive where they were just kind of chunk plays, and you get yourself in field goal range, you let your kicker come out and try one.
Klubnik back out there. I don't think we're expecting a whole lot here. Clemson 0 for 6 on third down. Just a run to Randall. He gets a yard, maybe 2. And now we get another timeout.
Louisville takes its first time out of the half. Your 30-second timeout. Please just hit the game clock to 6 seconds.
I understand Louisville's taking the timeout. They want Clemson to punt. You're going to go for a block kick. You hear the crowd's frustration. That stems from why didn't you take the timeout after the last play?
Yeah, and you could have run a bunch of plays to help yourself out, but now you're only going to get basically the punt return.
Here's our Week 12 ACC Network Saturday football lineup. At noon, it's a command center presentation of Notre Dame and Pitt. Remember, game day is going to be at Pitt. They'll have 4 different camera angles, real-time player and team stats. Georgia Tech looking to move closer to an ACC championship game berth. They go to Boston College. Virginia Tech meets Florida State. Both of those teams have to do work over the next few weeks to go bowling.
Well, Clemson's leaving the offense on the field. Maybe they're trying to get Louisville to jump off sides. I couldn't imagine you're going to run a play here on 4th down.
They had a time, 6 seconds. Now Klubnik just heaves it skyward, and that will run out the clock. And that's how the first half ends. So Clemson did not want to chance it by punting, and this crowd not happy. Clemson with a 1-point lead, a missed extra point. The difference. Zubin, it's the ACC's Wheel of Destiny spinning. It's ESPN College Football Primetime presented by Ram Trucks, all a part of the ACC on ESPN. I guess you could say it's been typical of this league that the difference in the game is a missed extra point. That's been the craziness of the ACC the last few weeks. And Ishraf, Andre Ware, both of these teams, Clemson and Louisville, look at this first half. They've got to see missed opportunities.
Yeah, with Clemson, it's the drop passes. Those are drive killers. There have been some penalties thrown in there as well before drops will really stall your offense out. And then with Louisville, it's just, you know, you miss an extra point, you have a stranglehold sort of on this game, but that's a momentum buzz killer as well.
Game Track brought to you by American Express. Clemson did not have a single 3rd down conversion, but a Louisville turnover deep in their own territory led to Clemson's lone touchdown. Clemson made the extra point, and that's the difference.
That is the difference. A well-played game, I thought, by both teams equally. It was kind of exactly what we anticipated coming into this game. It's what we're seeing right now.
Lacey, who got shaken up, is back in there, and he lets the kick go out of the end zone. We check in with Paul Carcaterra.
That turnover, gentlemen, that you just mentioned was a half changer, according to Jeff Brom, the head coach at Louisville. He told me that changed the complexity of that first half, and they have to hold on to the ball better ball security, but running the ball with more effectiveness would help as well. Only 69 yards rushing in that first half. The last 3 games, they've averaged 233 yards. He's really pleased with his defense, though. Clemson 0 for 7 on 3rd down.
Miller Moss comes out in an I formation, and it's Kewan Brown, 7 for 49 in the opening half, and he blasts into the Clemson secondary for a gain of 21.
Not sure who he just left on the turf, but they're face down. And wow, what a move. I think it's Ricardo Jones who he threw the move on. What a run by Kewan Brown.
8 carries, 70 yards. They go right back to Brown, who busts out another first down run. Give him a dozen more. Jeremiah Alexander finally made the tackle.
Well, he's feeling it, and so is the offensive line. Providing it may have been the exact same play, except the first time he cut inside, that time he cut to the outside.
He's averaging 9 yards a carry, which is what he's done over the previous 3 games. Play action. They don't dial up a shot. They go underneath. That's Skinner. And the tight end wrestled out of bounds, a pickup of 4.
He is a load and too much for Avion Terrell to handle. Could not get the big tight end at 6'5", 230 on the ground.
Louisville's offense without their top rusher, Isaac Brown. He's missing his 2nd straight game.
It's a nice drive that Louisville's putting together to start the second half.
A couple of big runs by Kewan Brown. Now it's an empty set for Miller Moss. There's a screen. It's Chris Hughes. And that is his first catch in more than a month. And it's a first down.
Look at all the guys back here. Excuse me, right here. All the guys on the back end, and that's allowing you passes in this area, which is exactly what Louisville takes advantage of. You're so deep, you can't make a play in time before the receiver gets to the first down marker. It's a heck of a play call by Brian Brom or Jeff Brom, the Brom brothers.
Kariski lined up at fullback. Big hole. Kewan Brown. Amtrak's all the way inside the 5-yard line.
He ran over Khalil Barnes, and that is a guy that I have a tremendous amount of respect for. I think he's going to play on Sundays, but man, maybe Kewan Brown plays on Sundays as well. Get out of my way, says Kewan.
Kewan Brown was not trying to avoid contact.
No. Oh my goodness.
He gets a bit of a breather. He comes
deservedly
to the
so.
And Duke Watson is in. On the ground, here's Watson. He's got the speed, but he's bottled up. Sammy Brown and Barnes.
Kewan Brown's upset. He didn't get that baby into the end zone, and he's hurt. He's limping a little bit. He wants to finish what he helped start on this drive. What an impressive way to start this second half for Louisville.
3 carries, 61 yards on the drive.
In the entire first half, they only went for 49 on 7 carries.
Little option, now it's Lacey, he'll throw, Kariski is there. We've seen that one before.
Yes, we have. We saw it in week 2 against James Madison. Excellent job of kind of setting this thing up, making it look like the option. They get an aggressive defense to overflow. It allows Kariski to slip out the back door. And Lacey with a touchdown pass.
Jeff Brom has a treasure trove of gadget plays, and he pulls one out near the goal line. A touchdown pass to the tight end, Kariski from Lacey.
And I like the fact they didn't chase the points right there.
They took the PAT by Ranvier.
Nice job of misdirection. Lacey with a nice touch to Kariski for 6.
If you think about it, since the start of 2011, every season but one has featured either Clemson or Florida State in the ACC championship. That will not happen this year. It didn't happen a few years ago when Pitt beat Wake Forest. That was the Kenny Pickett fake slide game. Clemson struggling to catch the ball in the opening half.
Yeah, first one to Adam Randall, then they come back and try to go to Tristan Smith off his chest. Dabo goes over, gives him a nice talking to, comes back. This one off the hands of Tristan Smith. So he wants to know what's wrong, you know, exercise the demons out of his head, and let's go play football. Those are behind you now, and we need you.
Smith, one of the rare transfers for Clemson. It's one of the teams where you don't see a ton of guys brought in from the outside.
Yeah.
It was part of the reason, all the player continuity off of a playoff team, why expectations were high, and Tristan Smith stepped up into a starting role when Bryant Wesco went down. Adam Randall bulldozes to the 32. Paul?
Dabo Sweeney told me heading into the third quarter, heck of a first half by 2 defenses bringing it. The drops have to be cleaned up. That's attention to detail and routine type plays. He went on to say we have to cover 0. Chris Bell Jr., he's their guy. Know where he is at all times. But the good news for Clemson fans, when Dabo leads at half, Tigers are 158-12.
Klubnik to Randall. Finds an opening and moves the chains.
He is a good-looking player, isn't he? Really come on the last few weeks, he being Adam Randall. Dynamic receiver out of the backfield, and he runs it better than you anticipate a guy that's only played the position for 11 months. No background as a running back, as you mentioned in the first half. But boy, it's, you know, athletes just catch on quickly, and he is that, a tremendous athlete.
Klubnik to his tight end, Pat Henry. Short game, sets up 2nd and 7.
Like this big guy as well, 6'3", 240. Can move guys on the line of scrimmage and an excellent receiving option. Makes tough catches over the middle, not afraid to put that body on the line.
Andre, when you've got a receiving core that's struggling at times with drops, does it change anything for you as a QB?
Well, yeah. I mean, you start searching for where they catch it best. Is it from the left side of the formation or the right? And that matters.
Downfield, Williams sure-handed, and he picks up a first down.
Nice job by Klubnik as well, keeping his eyes downfield, knowing that he's going to go to the seam to Williams all along. So you're holding a safety so that he doesn't get a nice jump on it. JoJo Evans Jr. is the guy that Cade Klubnik had his eyes on, holding him in the middle of the field so that he could deliver the football accurately and on time to Williams.
Antonio Williams closing in on 200 career receptions. Already 5th all time. There's the screen. And TJ Moore pulled down from behind.
That's 94-61 right there. That's an old run and shoot play where you start one way, get everybody flowing away from the tunnel screen. Then you're going to plant your feet as a quarterback and go right back to it, trying to hit him right in the middle of his chest. You go the other way, it's 91-460. It's a nice little walk down memory lane.
Took you back to 1989.
It really did. That fast.
2nd and 6. Klubnik, design quarterback run. And he lost a yard. And now Clemson faces a 3rd down. They have not converted on 3rd down tonight.
Renee Conga, AJ Green, all these guys coming up in run support, man. You got to get down because they are bringing some big-time firepower with those two.
They've got some big bodies up front. Conga, Garrod, Lubin,
mentioned Micah Carter, 6'6", 255 pounds.
Randall motions into the slot. Klubnik's pass incomplete for Turner. Clemson 0 for 8 on 3rd down.
And guess who was right in his hip pocket? Trying to go to Cole Turner. AJ Green, all 6'6" of him, sitting right in the pocket of Cole Turner, and it forced Klubnik to kind of dump it into the turf.
So Hoosier is on for a field goal try from 48. He has made his last 9 field goal attempts. Make it 10 straight for Hoosier. Clemson within 3. With 7:07 remaining in the 3rd quarter, your score, Louisville 16, Clemson 13. And Dante Moore, 9 for 10 passing. Andre, I know you're big on Dante Moore. You think he might be the best quarterback in college football?
I do. And, you know, he's a guy that is a dual threat player that can get it done. I mean, I like this. Indiana right there, Ohio State. A&M undefeated.
I think we have some games this weekend that will shake that Polaroid quite a
There's
bit.
no doubt. Georgia, Texas, going to shake it up a little bit.
Alabama, Oklahoma, potentially.
UFC 322 is tomorrow at Madison Square Garden. Welterweight belt is on the line between 27-1 Islam Makhachev and 3-name Jack. That's Jack Della Maddalena. Prelims 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, with the main card at 10 Eastern on pay-per-view. Buy it at ESPNplus.com/PPV.
Let's get it.
Let's get it.
I've become a big UFC fan. Still a big boxing fan. Over UFC, but I love the fights, man.
Little bit of fight history in this town as Chris Bell hauls in a 7-yard catch, his third of the game.
The greatest. See his photos everywhere from the time you get off the plane at the airport to the stadium and everywhere in between. What a fighter he was.
A fighter, a showman.
Yes.
And Louisville with Kewan Brown moves the chains. Brown tonight, 11 carries, 110 yards. 61 of those yards came on the previous drive.
And Jeff Brom described him as a tough inside runner who's not afraid to lower his pads. Just ask Khalil Barnes on that last possession.
Now that might be on Sports Center later tonight.
It just might make it.
Lacey motions out. Moss to Kariski, who's lassoed down. So we wondered if Louisville would take more vertical shots tonight. Have not seen a ton.
Not a whole lot. They've hit Chris Bell on a ball down the field that he caught. That's been about it. It's been underneath kind of, but you also have to take what's there. And if Clemson's not giving it up, then you don't force it if you're Miller Moss. You just kind of take what's there within zone coverage. Now, you get some man-to-man that they've shown at times, that's when you can drive the ball downfield.
On the ground, another big hole. Kewan Brown.
Wow.
Running with purpose and intention.
And he did it again. He found number 7 on the back end once again. This guy just knows how to run the football. Then you see him kind of duck that shoulder and helmet into the chest of Khalil Barnes. My goodness. Tough run, young man.
Khalil Barnes has to be thinking, did he make that personal? Now we get a flag.
Yeah, they're going to get called for too many men on the field.
Substitution infraction on the offense. 12 men in formation. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Yeah, this is what Jeff Brom talked about. Drive killers.
Yeah.
Momentum stunters.
Somehow starting left tackle, Trevante Sylvester was hustling off the field. So I'm not sure if he was hurt and trying to come off or what, but now he's back in the game. And they're making another change with Skinner coming in, or Kariski coming in for Skinner.
Watson is in for Kewan Brown. You just get the sense Watson's been waiting to hit a home run. Longest run this year, 15. It was a 50-yard run waiting to happen. Almost busted one. Ricardo Jones hung on to the shoelaces.
Well, you got to give credit where credit's due, and it's the big grunts up front on the offensive line of Louisville, controlling this game here in the second half. Sylvester, Robinson, Nigru, Musa, and Miller all up front moving bodies and giving Watson and Brown plenty of room in which to run through.
Louisville averaging almost 8 yards per carry. They go right back to Watson. Got away from Sammy Brown and shuffles ahead for a first.
That's not an easy thing to do. Sammy Brown tackles anything in front of him. And he just kind of held on until Watson slowed down, and he got some help from a couple other white jerseys.
Kind of get a feeling here Duke Watson might be on the verge of breaking one off.
Either he or Brown, whichever one's in the game at the time, but either one could certainly do it.
Lacey's in the slot. He's in motion. Moss incomplete. Wanted Watson. Barnes in coverage. No flag. Second down.
Barnes trying to get him a little get back. It's like, hey, if Brown's looking me up when I have the opportunity to get some get back on somebody, I'm going to give it to Duke Watson.
Duke Watson had that critical fumble in the second quarter. Every time he's been on the sideline since, I'm watching him, he's holding a ball. He's gripping it super, super tight. The ball means so much to this kid right now, and he's come alive. In addition to Keywan Brown, they are bringing it in the run game.
They go back to the ground. Not much there. In fact, a loss of 2. It's third down. Alexander, the TFL.
Alexander, along with Myson Kelly, up from his safety spot, or that Tiger spot, helping out. Now this would say, hey, you're going to throw the football here. Maybe a draw play, maybe a screen, trying to take advantage of the Clemson aggression if they decide to blitz or bring pressure on 3rd and long. Here they
Watson
come.
goes wide. He gets it in space. Bounced back up and is tackled at the 21-yard line by Ricardo Jones. 4th down.
When you get all these bodies inside, and so that gives the edge to Watson, who almost came out of this thing, making guys miss, breaking tackles. Terrell and Jones, the guys that had to bring him down, but he almost came out of that thing.
Ranvier hit a 51-yard field goal and also missed an extra point tonight from 39. And Louisville extends back to a 6-point lead. 1:32 left in the 3rd. Entering tonight, Louisville had an 8% chance to get to the ACC championship game. Hope still on the table. That number almost doubles with a win. And again, you're playing in a league that has been chaotic the last few weeks.
Got to take care of business, though. And there's a lot of time and a lot of distance to the finish line.
Right now, that extra point could loom large that Ranvier missed in the first half. That's why Louisville's sitting on 19. Clemson, well, they've gone bowling 20 consecutive seasons.
That's crazy.
They've won a postseason game in 14 straight seasons, which is the longest active streak in the FBS. And how about this? They've finished 500 or better in conference play in 26 consecutive seasons. If Clemson loses tonight, that streak comes to an end too.
Still can make it to a bowl game at 6-6.
But you got to win out if you don't win tonight.
You got to win out, and that consists of Furman and South Carolina.
The Palmetto Bowl at the end of the season. Klubnik with a lot of time. A dangerous throw. And he's able to find TJ Moore, the sophomore from Key West.
And Antonio Watts flying down the field from that linebacker spot to make a tackle. Sees Klubnik deliver the football, and it's just a nice little over route that TJ Moore he's able to hang on to. He hadn't had the problems. It's been Smith and a couple of others with the drop problems.
Davidson motions out. Klubnik looks him off. Antonio Williams, the safety net. A first down for Clemson.
Well, what I like about that, that's high-level football right there by Antonio Williams. He didn't panic, didn't look to take off, just knew it was zone coverage, sat in an area, and kind of waited for Klubnik to free himself from the pocket. Then eventually found him with his eyes, and still standing right there with that big 0 pointed right at his quarterback for a completion.
Good protection, too, from that offensive line.
Excellent protection.
Klubnik forced to throw it away. Antonio Watts, who plays that hybrid defensive back linebacker position with the blitz.
Well, they call it the Tiger position at Clemson. It's called the Card position at Louisville. And so he's coming off, one coming off the corner and then forcing a throwaway. That is Antonio Watts, plays with a great deal of speed. He's talented, freaky talented and athletic, and makes a ton of plays for this Louisville defense.
Please reset the game clock to 4 seconds, 0-4. Thank you.
Davison. Typhoons across the 35. A pickup of about 9 on the play. It takes us to the fourth quarter in Derby City. Louisville has won 19 of its last 21 when leading after 3.
Fourth quarter with Louisville head coach Jeff Brom. Coach, you've held Clemson on third down 0 for 8. What's critical right now on this third down?
Well, we got to hold them again. Right now we're giving up a lot of perimeter screens. We got to expand on that. We got to get to the quarterback more. This is third and short, so we just got to find a way to get a stop if we can and stop this drive.
Thank you.
Ron English, the Louisville defensive coordinator, told us the Cardinals have to handle the perimeter. That's where Cal ate them up last week. Clemson runs straight ahead, and it looks like Randall's got enough. He does. And Jacob DeJesus in the Cal win last week had 16 catches, including the game winner on the perimeter.
Yeah, TJ Quinn almost had one heck of a play here to stop Randall short of the first down, but just couldn't hold on to him. See, number 34 in there fighting and scratching, trying to get the big back on the ground, and just couldn't do it. What a nice answer this has been for Clemson as well, taking the ball, going right down the field to try to answer Louisville.
Play fake. Moore able to haul it in. That is a catch.
That's why you'll see Cade Klubnik playing on Sundays, because of that throw right there. Off his back foot, throwing an out route, kind of still going back, and then decides to set his feet and drive it. And it's on the money in time for TJ Moore, where he can get at least 1 foot down inbounds.
6 catches. 68 yards for Moore. By the way, that last third down conversion for Clemson, their first of the night. Williams in motion. Klubnik rolling. Nobody there. He's thrown down, flag down.
They're going to have a face mask,
Wesley Bailey knows it.
Yep, and he just kind of reached to grab to get a handle on
Personal foul.
Cade Klubnik.
Horse collar tackle. Defense, number 23.
So it's not a face mask, it's actually horse collar.
Previous spot, automatic, first down.
And you're right, Wesley Bailey, he knew it right away. Let's go back and take a look at this tackle. In space, and you're just trying to get a handle on an athletic player. That right hand grabs the back of the shoulder pads. I think he might have had, well,
he reached for the face mask.
He almost got the face mask in there. Gives him a fresh set of downs.
It sets up a 1st and goal. Davidson churns to about the 6.
He is some player. You see all these other running backs when they're in warm-ups and they're in the groups, and then all of a sudden you see this guy about 2 heads taller than everybody else. That's Adam Randall. Just a good-looking player.
There's the pressure. Klubnik's hit. Somehow it is caught. Wow. And all the way down to the 1-yard line, Antonio Williams.
Watts is coming right into the face of Cade Klubnik, and he doesn't flinch. He's going to stare down the blitzer, take the shot, and still deliver an accurately thrown football to Antonio Williams, who's trying to run a tunnel screen, but it's played so well, he's stopped in his tracks by Tayon Holloway.
Jumbo package.
And they'll give it to the big guy now. They'll give it to number 11, Peter Woods.
The D tackle / fullback. It's Woods.
He fumbled it.
The ball looked like it came out. Louisville says they have it. Hang on. And now the fist goes into the air. It's Clemson football. And it's 4th down.
He tries to go airborne. Peter Woods tried to go airborne with it.
There's a penalty marker down as well.
Trying to go airborne
out
Watts.
before he crosses Antonio Watts.
He put his helmet right on the football.
Going on the field was a fumble recovered by the offense to be 4th down. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense number 50, and offense number 7. Those fouls will offset. It'll be 4th down. For each of those plays, that's their first foul towards disqualification.
Let's check out this fumble again by Woods. He's trying, that's 310
Correction,
pounds.
is number 2 on the offense.
Trying to imitate Walter Payton going over the pile. And Watts puts his helmet right on it, right on the football.
And then they get Lubin and Klubnik after the play. 4th and goal. Clemson, no surprise, they will go for it. Woods remains in as the fullback. Heavy package with Randall behind Woods. Ball comes out again, and because it was 4th down, that doesn't even matter. It's going to be Louisville ball. 4th down fumble rule, I'm not sure applies there because possession was never established.
Looks like
another flag.
And they tried to give it to Peter Woods again. It looked like it was left on his hip by Klubnik, and the ball goes on the ground. Louisville recovers. Now let's see what this flag is about. Looks like Dabo's asking him, why did you try to give it to Peter? That wasn't the play.
Going on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense. It'll be Louisville football. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense, number 21. His first unsportsmanlike conduct foul of the game. Penalty enforced half the distance to the goal. Louisville football, 1st down. Timeout.
Yeah, it was after the play. The foul was on Hutchinson. Klubnik has the football. So right here, as soon as that ball hits the ground, because Klubnik did have possession, the only one who could have even advanced it for Clemson was the quarterback. Let's look at the penalty after the play. So Louisville recovered the 4th down fumble, which only could have been advanced by Klubnik, and then that was the penalty after the play.
On Hutchinson.
Yeah.
Now you do something like that. The eye in the sky won't lie. Then you throw your hands up like, I didn't do anything. Yeah, you kind of did.
Disastrous turnover for Clemson. Louisville gets it back, and they get breathing room right away. Flag behind the play.
What a night it's been for Kewan Brown, but it's all coming back because of a hold.
Holding, offense number 85. After this is to the goal, first down.
It's on Kariski, and to go back to that fumble for Clemson, that's been a snapshot of their season. Disaster at the absolute worst times.
To keep an eye on the fullback, Kariski working up on Alexander.
What do you think there, Andre?
Not much there. That's a play on, as far as I'm concerned. But I know that a lot of officials will call it as soon as that hand slips outside of the shoulder. That's kind of an indicator.
Just a lunge ahead for airspace.
I'm not sure. Yeah, a lot of booing going on in the stadium. I'm not sure what the fans expect here. When you're backed up this far, you're trying to get a drive starter. And luckily, it just wiped out the yardage that Brown gained and didn't take them farther back.
The thing to be careful here, too. You get a holding penalty in the end zone. That's a safety. And a throw. It's third down and long. And now this becomes a critical play. Now, if Louisville can't convert, Clemson essentially gets a mulligan and likely gets a short field.
Yeah, I'm looking in the direction of Chris Bell and Colin Lacey. You got to find one of those two to get you out of this bind.
I go back to what Jeff Brown told us. He said, we've had some just ill-timed penalties from the offensive line over the last few weeks. It's third down. They run it to Kewan Brown. That's been a good play in the second half. And he just drives Woodaz backwards. Boy, he runs with power, with precision, up to 137 yards rushing.
And it's not totally healthy. He's limping.
Yeah.
And limping badly. I think it was an ankle earlier in the first half. But he is some player. Talking about having a night. He's having one.
And what that run does, it doesn't get Louisville the first down, but it gives David Chapeau a little more room. Antonio Williams waits in plus territory.
Big punt here.
Williams will let this bounce. It takes a Louisville bounce. And it's going to be downed inside the Clemson 45. A 48-yard kick. Tigers down 6, working with half the field.
The College Football Playoff begins December 19th and concludes with the National Championship January 19th on ESPN.
Clemson had a couple of chances to take the lead on their last drive. Peter Woods fumbled. Clemson recovered. And then fourth down, a fumble on the exchange. Louisville recovered, and Dabo Sweeney just not understanding.
Yeah, he's going to Garrett Riley, wondering what the play call was, and it wasn't designed to go to Peter Woods. Woods wasn't expecting the ball on that handoff.
But the Tigers defense forced the 3 and out, and now Clemson starts inside its own 45. Klubnik, who's been banged up down the stretch, off his back foot to nobody.
You know, that last drive didn't go Cade Klubnik's way, but I've been watching him on the sideline. His positivity and his communication with teammates has been exceptional. And Adam Randall told me this week, Cade's one of the best leaders he's ever been around. They're roommates for 2 years. He said the tough moments are rooted in this guy, and it's never about him. It's always about us. And he went on to say, God put him in my life for a reason. That's about as good of a compliment you can get from a teammate.
This is a 2-time ACC championship game MVP. And he puts it in the belly of his running back. Randall speeds down the sideline. Stiff arm. And out of bounds after a huge run. They mark him out at the 10-yard line. It's a gain of 46.
Well, if you're wondering if Randall can run, he just showed you that he can indeed do exactly that. And I mean, speed after breaking the line of scrimmage. This is a guy who is playing running back for the first time, and he's only played it for about 11 months. And so he's having some kind of season, some kind of game here tonight.
Well, here we go. It's the third Clemson possession at the 10 or in. They only have 3 points to show for it. It's Randall. He's getting close to 100 yards rushing, up to 98.
How about the patience? I mean, he didn't just get it and go hammer it into the line of scrimmage or into the back of one of his offensive linemen. He let the blocks set themselves. Then he found a nice little crease in which to try to squeeze that 6'2", 235-pound body through it. It's impressive.
Antonio Williams is the slot man. Direct snap. Randall. Third and goal, Clemson.
There's nothing there, and it looks like someone's
Time
down
out on the field for an injured player of the
Clemson.
offense.
It's the right guard, Walker Parks, who is the lone Kentucky native on this Clemson team. They've had to shuffle pieces on the offensive line due to injuries this season. Tigers, despite some mistakes, still with a chance. 7:49 left.
ESPN College Football Primetime is presented by Ram, official sponsor of the College Football Playoff.
That's the Louisville Slugger Museum and Factory in downtown Louisville. It's third down and goal for Clemson. Adam Randall, the running back.
We'll keep an eye on Williams. 0.
Tight end screen. And Pat Henry cannot get there. Fourth and goal. Here we go again. This is where Clemson was just moments ago.
Louisville has a player down. Right about Nas Wesley Bailey, the defensive end.
He leads the team in sacks.
Yeah. From Ottawa, Ontario.
I give this Louisville defense a ton of credit. Down here at this part of the field, they have more than held their own. It was a defensive unit that came into last week as the #1 overall defense in the ACC.
And Clemson had a couple of extra shots, if I remember right, because a couple of penalties gave them automatic first downs, and Louisville still were still able to come up big on defense.
Bailey remains down.
Take a look and see exactly how Wesley Bailey coming in, maybe some friendly fire from Corey Gordon.
Looks like Braden Jacobs, the big 6'7", 355 freshman, number 74, got in there too.
He's a good-looking player, though, isn't he?
Yeah, his dad was a big-time running back in the NFL. Brandon Jacobs won a couple of Super Bowls with the Giants.
All-time rushing touchdown leader for the Giants, and they've had some great running backs play there. Brandon being one of them.
Bailey to his feet. The difference tonight, red zone production. Louisville, 2 trips to the red zone, 13 points. This is Clemson's 3rd red zone trip. Only a field goal. They were stopped on 4th and goal from the 1 on their last drive. Here they are again. What do you call this time, Andre?
I'm going to get Klubnik on the edges. He is a mobile quarterback. I think when you get down here and you have one, you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't put pressure on the edges of the defense with your quarterback with his legs. So I'm going to sprint out. I may bring, it looks like Antonio Williams is to his right. I may bring him in motion with the ball being on the right hash and sprint him left, giving him an option to either throw it or run it.
Instead, it's Randall fighting, waiting for a signal. Touchdown Clemson, and we are tied at 19.
I was wondering what was taking so long, because it looked like, you know, half his body was laying in the end zone. I guess they just wanted to make sure he got turned sideways, and then he gets a little pull from Blake Miller. And into the end zone he goes.
Blake Miller has been a stalwart at tackle.
Going on the field is a touchdown. Previous play is under further review.
All right, they will look at one more time. Miller starting his 51st consecutive game. We check in with the ACC's Game Day Operations Center.
So now when we look at, well, we're going to wait for Mike to give us the ruling on the field. So,
hey guys, Mike is here.
Mike,
ruling on the field is a touchdown.
Thank you, Mike. So we're going to show you number 8, and we're going to show he's going to run into the pile. We're looking at all of the body parts.
I'm looking at 2 screens right now, guys.
Correct. So
okay.
if they're synced, and you're going to see the number 8 going into the pile. We're going to see his body parts are up. And then when you look at the near cart as well, you're going to see eventually now we're going to see that he breaks the plane with his body parts up. The ruling on the field is upheld. Is everybody in agreement on this?
I'm looking at the right shot is showing him his body part up. And the excuse me, left. The right part shows the ball's clearly over the plane with goal line by a lot.
Okay. So the ruling on the field is upheld.
Over the plane. Upheld. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Clock is good.
After further review, the ruling on the field is upheld. It's a touchdown.
And now the point after. And remember, the point after, the difference in this game. Louisville missed one in the first half. Clemson now, if they make this, would take the lead. Adam Randall, 2 touchdowns on the ground. The Tigers have won 58 of their last 61 games when they've had a 100-yard rusher. Randall at 102 tonight. Hoosier ties the game. Louisville, when they beat Clemson last year, blocked 2 kicks, and this is why Louisville trails by 1 instead of a tie game right now.
Just off the left upright. It seems like it's so easy, yet it continues to happen.
So Clemson with the PAT has a 20-19 lead. .16 to go in regulation.
Well, one guy that Louisville may want to look at is Kewan Brown, who's averaged 108 yards rushing his last 3. Now he's at 137 tonight.
And he's tonight's dependable player, brought to you by Mavis Tire.
Just tough between the tackles, and a guy that has put his pads right on other guys. Right there with Barnes. He has done just about everything asked of him tonight, and that's playing on a bad ankle. What a night it's been for Kewan Brown. Now he's going to be asked to do even more to help his team overcome this 1-point deficit.
Here we go. A gadget play. Lacey into Clemson territory. They dial up a trick play again, and Colin Lacey rips off a run after the catch of 48.
That's Mr. Jeff Brom drawing up this kind of stuff. A reverse back to the quarterback, and then back to Lacey, who got the whole play started. And then it's just speed coming out of there. If the safety's not there, he may very well have gone to the end zone.
And Clemson in field goal range after just one play. Hold on.
What a play, and what a time to call it.
I wonder if they're going to see if he stepped out earlier.
Previous plays under further review to see if the runner stepped out on the sideline.
Lacey was tight roping the sideline. Does he step out?
Can't tell there. Heels in the air. So this should continue on if that's the point. Fine with the left foot. I think he's fine.
Well, let's listen to the ACC's Game Day Operations Center.
Stepping out of bounds.
So right now we're trying, when the number 5 is running up the field, we're looking at his feet and we're trying to make sure that he stays in the entire time, which is what the ruling on the field was. And right now, based off the coach's end zone, we're going to go back a little bit. Go back. John, go back.
How far do you want to go back?
Go back, go back. Okay, right here. And now we're going to look. Go past this. So we're looking
I don't
at that
see anything
foot.
there. Yeah, I
Nothing
see
there
it.
to be able to overturn. Keep going.
See the toe down.
Keep going.
Inbounds. Heel
Yeah.
up.
Keep
The next
playing.
step is clearly in.
So we see that one in, see this one in. Based off
And
of
we're
these
clear
looks,
off that, right?
And we don't have anything to be able to overturn the ruling on the field.
Upheld, first down.
Stands.
Yep.
Where's our spot?
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
After further review, the ruling on the field is upheld. The first down for Louisville.
Jeff Brom told us they needed explosive plays tonight. He's
finding ways to
get.
Yeah, he's scheming them up. And Miller Moss had not had a completed pass over 40 yards in the previous 7 games until that one to Lacey, which went for 48 yards.
And Lacey did most of the heavy lifting.
No doubt. Started the play and finished it.
Kewan Brown remains on the bench. Duke Watson in the backfield. Watson dropped after just a yard. 2nd and 9.
It was so hard to move this front of Clemson, which is so impressive with the job that Kewan Brown has done tonight. When you talk about first-round pick and TJ Parker. Potential first-round pick, obviously, in Peter Woods. And they've got some other guys. Will Help on the other side, the Purdue transfer. Guys that are just fantastic playmakers on this defensive line. Yet Louisville having success running the football.
Lacey is lined up in the backfield. He motions out. Cal did a lot of this to Louisville last week with DeJesus. And now a timeout.
Louisville takes its first time out of the half. It'll be a 30-second timeout.
So 2nd down and 9, 5:36 left. 2 timeouts remaining. Critical drive for Louisville after Clemson took the lead, and that missed extra point by Ranvier in that first half, the difference in this game. We said it at the top of the broadcast. Louisville's playoff hopes and ACC title game hopes took a hit last week, no doubt. They still have an 8% shot. The number jumps to 15%. That's to get to the ACC championship, which they would then have to win to get into the playoff, but focus on getting there first.
Yeah.
If they win tonight, it's 8 to 15%. In a league that has been defined by chaos the last few weeks. Watson unable to get away, no gain. It's 3rd down.
Sammy Brown just blew up that play. Goriski's trying to block and open up a nice crease on the outside, right outside the tackle, Trevante Sylvester. And Brown just came through, blew it up.
Kewan Brown, 14 carries for 137. Checks in on 3rd and 8. And Brown is split wide. Moss under pressure, hit and sacked. Sammy Brown
absolutely cannot take that sack. And now you got to punt the football away. I mean, they may run the kicker out here for this one, but
and now you're pushing on the edge of Ranvier's been good this year. He has hit from 51 today, which was a career high. He's also hit from 39. This is from 50.
You just can't take that sack because it pushes you to the brink of being out of field goal range.
For the lead. Ranvier's kick, no good.
And that one you can put right on the shoulders of number 7, Miller Moss. Before you break the huddle, in his ear should have been, if we're going to throw it, you can't take a sack. Get rid of the football. I don't care how much pressure, when it's coming, throw it in the direction of somebody on the outside, get it past the line of scrimmage and out of bounds, but you cannot do what he did and take the sack, taking yourself out of field goal range. You may not get this football back with 4:06 on the clock.
The other thing to remember, while Louisville still has the 2-minute timeout to stop the clock, they used one of their timeouts on that last drive.
Great point.
4:06 to go. The ACC's Wheel of Destiny continues to spin with maniacal fervor. Louisville, going into last week, was seen as a team that had a path to the ACC championship game. They lose in overtime to Cal. Now, 2 missed kicks by one of the most reliable kickers in the league tonight. An extra point and a 50-yarder. Clemson with the football. Klubnik with a check down. It's Randall. Rope to the ground after a gain of 4. 2nd down.
Well, Ron English has done one heck of a job tonight with his group. They came to the line of scrimmage, made it look like cover 1, man across the board, and that they were going to blitz TJ Quinn off the corner. They bounced right out of it, and now it's 3-deep zone. And so you've got a play call as a man beater. Are you thinking, if I break this run and get it past the original line of scrimmage, because of the man coverage, Randall's got a shot to break one. Well, they did. They go zone coverage and keep everything in front of them.
Randall again. Good early penetration by TJ Capers. It's 3rd down.
A lot of shuffling on the offensive line for Clemson. Walker Parks, we saw him exit the game moments ago. The freshman phenom, the left tackle, Braden Jacobs, 6'7", 355. How good, how versatile is he? He's at left guard right now.
Yeah, he's the guy.
The last 2 games at left guard.
Very bright future, and especially right here at Clemson first and foremost. But he can play guard, he can play tackle, play right side, left side. Versatile O-lineman, and they are in demand.
Tigers 1 for 11 on 3rd down. Klubnik. His pass dropped by his tight end, Pat Henry. Another drop by Clemson. That is 5 tonight. And the door ajar for Louisville.
And that's not a bad thrown ball. That's on the money into the breadbasket of number 11. Should have caught that. And right up the middle of the field he goes. Can't run with it unless you have it.
And it stops the clock, so that incompletion also functions as a timeout. Bad snap. Smith has trouble with it. Down he goes. Louisville takes over inside the Clemson 25-yard line. You want madness? You have madness in the ACC.
TJ Capers, I think, is the player that's going to get there and tap down the punter. And Jack Smith just mishandles it. And here comes Louisville.
Please set the game clock to 2 minutes, 31 seconds, 2-3-1. Thank you.
Whatever the football gods have in store for this league, wow, boy, is it devious and mischievous.
It's been exciting, that's for sure. An exciting
it is entertaining.
All of 2025.
And now movement from Louisville.
False start. Offense, number 60. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Now, there's been talk this week of the doomsday scenario for the ACC with a potential 4-loss Duke winning the league and the ACC champion potentially being left out of the college football playoff. It's the top 5 conference champions. Louisville looking to hold on to any hope they have. Keywan Brown shipwrecked back at the 30. It's a loss of 2 more, so now again, you're making this harder for Ranvier.
Already missed from 50.
And he's missed an extra point. Louisville can take this down to the 2-minute timeout. And they will. It's just another Friday night, and it's just another weekend in the ACC.
Oh, I am Scott Van Pelt. Coming up after the game, Lincoln Riley on USC's path to the playoff. We'll preview the weekend slate with Dusty Dvorak. And West Virginia women, they won a hoop game where their 5 was on the floor. Literally, they had no substitutions available in the second half. Anish, Andre, back to you.
Amazing. Scotty, thank you. Still have a lot left here. Watson inside his left tackle. And it sets up a 3rd down and long for Louisville. We got another flag at the end of this play.
And this is going to be against Louisville for an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on Lance Robinson. He just shoved a Clemson player who went flying after he was kind of pulling Duke Watson. So let's see if this holds up, because this will be 15 yards and they will be out of field goal range.
Yep. Jeff Braun knows it. You can't have that.
Can't have it.
Just can't have that.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense number 57. Because that was the reason the game clock was stopped. It's subject to a 10-second runoff. Clemson has declined that runoff. The game clock will start on the snap.
He said 57, but I think you see there, it's 53, Lance Robinson.
And it puts Louisville back at the 42-yard line, essentially out of reasonable field goal range for Ranvier, who's already missed 2 kicks tonight. You just can't have that in this spot, not with what is at stake for Louisville. If the Cardinals lose this game, any hopes of ACC championship or playoff are completely gone.
And you're trying to put a game away.
Now 3rd and long. Moss on the drag. He's got Meeks. Breaks the tackle. Meeks gets Louisville back into field goal range with a 2nd effort.
They say the quarterbacks really like him because he knows exactly where he's supposed to be at all times on the field, and I can see why with plays like this. The game's on the line.
Your 30-second timeout.
And Antonio Meeks comes up with maybe the play of the game for Louisville.
Brandon Strozier had him, and Meeks shrugged him off and able to extend the play and gets inside the 30. And it's a much more reasonable attempt now for Ranvier. It's still a long 40-plus yarder. And Ranvier tonight missed an extra point. And then earlier in this quarter, missed from 50. And it looks like they're going to send on Nick Keller. Now, Keller's attempted 3 kicks this year. He's 2 for 3. The 2 he's hit, both from 57. So he's their long-range guy. And he will come on here. A 46-yarder to take the lead. First field goal he's attempted inside of 50 this year. Keller's kick, no good. A kingdom for a kicker. Louisville has missed 3 kicks tonight, 2 field goals and a PAT, but hold on, there's another flag at the end of this play.
Owen never had a chance.
Field goal is no good after the play on sportsmanlike conduct. 92 of the kicking team. His first sportsmanlike conduct foul of the game. 15-yard penalty to be added. Dead ball spot. First down for Clemson.
It looked as though to me that Nick Keller was leaning forward and his body was already starting. He was trying to hold himself back. And the snap was a little bit late. So the timing wasn't ideal. I'm sure that had all to do with why he pulled it so far left, but it certainly had a little bit to do with it.
And Andre, that is 5 personal foul penalties against Louisville.
That one against Micah Carter. Not understanding why. You're trying to ice a game, put it away. You have a big play on a punt return where the punter fumbles it. It gives you great field position. The penalties take you out of range, and then you find your way back into range.
All Clemson needs is a first down. Randall for a gain of 3. Timeout Louisville. 1 remaining.
Louisville takes its second timeout of the half.
We look at our dynamic play of the game presented by T-Row Price.
Randall just nice move inside, the big long run that he had to set up the touchdown. That's been the difference so far, that 1 extra point looming large here for Louisville.
14 carries, 106 for Randall. His 3rd 100-yard game of the season. Clemson, if they can hold on and win, would get to 500 on the season. They would get to 500 in conference play for a 26th consecutive season. And then all Clemson would have to do is beat Furman to become bowl eligible. They still have the game left against South Carolina. And for Louisville, boy, kind of look at the games they've lost this year. In overtime to Virginia. 2 of them. In overtime to Cal, both at home. And now 3 missed kicks in another home game.
Those 2 losses in overtime by combined 4 points. And then you throw this in there. You know, if this score holds up, it'd be 3 losses by a total of 5 points all year.
Randall is hit in the backfield. He lost a yard. So it's 3rd down. Antonio Watts made the stop. I'm not sure the clock ever started.
This young man's going to be in
Louisville takes
somebody's
its final
camp.
timeout of the half.
When he's draft eligible.
24 seconds.
He can play.
1-2-4.
Final timeout for Louisville. And now Clemson facing a 3rd down. They're 1 for 12 on 3rd down today.
Run it again here if you're Clemson. Let the clock run all the way out. And you're forced to punt it.
Now remember the last punt by Clemson.
Yes.
A little bit of a low snap. Smith had trouble with it.
They basically gift wrapped the game for Louisville, who didn't want it.
It's kind of been that way back and forth, hot potato
yes, it has.
in this 4th quarter.
Yep.
Who wants it? Now we had Clemson at the goal line. 2 tries from the 1-yard line. Couldn't get in. Get the ball back. Get downfield again, then scored. So you run it here, Andre, just to keep that clock moving.
Absolutely. You're right.
Put some time back on the clock.
And you're telling Randall, 2 hands on the football. We're okay if you just don't put it on the ground.
We get a timeout by Clemson.
Clemson takes its 2nd timeout of the half.
It is the ACC regular season finale for Clemson. It's the 10th meeting between these two. Prior to last year, Louisville had never beaten Clemson.
Dabo's giving him, firing up the long snapper, Philip Florenzo, who he's over there talking to right about now.
If we've got to call his name again, that's the wheel of madness and the wheel of destiny spinning. Randall's the sidecar for Klubnik. Bettencourt in motion. Klubnik keeps it and then nosedives where he's met by Stanquan Clark. It's 4th down. Louisville out of timeouts. Clemson can let this clock run.
All 30+ seconds of it down.
Here's the other thing to remember. The guy back deep for Louisville.
Oh, yeah, he can out.
Lacey has 2 punt return touchdowns on the season, 3 for his career.
Keep in mind as well, they only need a field goal. Don't need to get in the end zone, just the field goal.
Clemson's going to use its final timeout. They'll wait for a few more seconds to run off.
Delay of game on the offense. 5-yard penalty. It'll be 4th down. Penalty is also subject to a 10-second runoff. Louisville's declined that runoff. Please reset the game clock. 39 seconds. 039. Thank you.
So Clemson just takes the delay. Is this a spot, Andre, where, listen, given who's back there, are you trying to kick it deep, maybe even out of bounds?
Oh, I'm trying to kick it into the end zone if I can. Over Lacey's head and into the end zone, or somewhere left or right of him, but I would not kick it to him where he can return it. It might be awfully ugly if you kick it and let him have one to run back.
Florenzo the snap, it's clean. Smith punts it away.
Short punt.
Lacey watches this bounce. No return. There's a flag that comes in all the way from the near side of the field, far from the field. The line judge threw it.
Someone left early.
During the return, holding, receiving team number 38. 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
Boy, it's just a free-for-all against Louisville with these penalties here as of late. Actually, excellent tackle here on Lacey not to allow him to get started.
Hannafin right there. So yet another penalty in this 4th quarter against Louisville. 6 penalties in the 4th quarter alone. And now for a team that has struggled to find explosive plays in the pass game, that's what this game comes down to. No timeouts and 30 seconds left.
Yeah, it's White that draws the flag for holding. And it was against the long snapper.
Moss finds Chris Bell. He's got a 1st down that momentarily stops the clock. Here's the other thing to remember.
Get on it and clock it. Clock it right now, unless you have 2 plays called.
Looks like they do. Moss finds Bell. That's going to keep the clock running. 15 seconds and ticking. Now he's got to spike it, and with 12 seconds, here's the other thing you got to remember if you're Louisville. Any penalty that causes a clock stoppage, you hit that 10-second runoff, you have no timeouts to stop the clock. And we only bring that up because penalties have plagued Jeff Brom's team in this 4th quarter.
They certainly have, and a lot of them self-inflicted. One personal foul penalty took them out of field goal range and dashed their hopes, at least for the immediate future.
Moss again over the middle, dropped. It's going to bring up 4th and 1, 8 seconds to go. Again, Andre, they have not taken shots downfield. Are you surprised, given what the score is, they just needed a field goal?
Well, Clemson won't give them shots down the field. They've got guys back and holding everything underneath. So it's going to be a catch for a first down here if the drive even continues. Another drop, and it's Clemson kneeling down and running this thing out with it being 4th down. They're not going to let anything get over the top, though.
That ball is tipped. It's broken up. It's incomplete. Ricardo Jones, the PBU, and Clemson a kneel down away from getting to 500.
Well, that's the one time you don't need to push it down the field. You're just thinking first down, and he tries to throw into coverage when he had Duke Watson sitting down underneath. Anything for a catch would have been a first down. Stops the clock momentarily, where you have something else called in order to execute quickly.
Andre Ware, help me and help us make sense of the ACC over the last month.
That is beyond my pay grade, my man, but it's going to be fun to sit back and watch the finish to this season, especially that Duke-Virginia game tomorrow, which has so much at stake.
For Louisville, this is the final dagger in their hopes for a college football playoff berth or a trip to the ACC championship.
It kind of felt like that extra point was going to hang around, and it did, and that's the difference.
Dabo Swinney's Clemson Tigers get one on the road. Another close, devastating loss for Louisville. Jeff Brom's team has suffered 2 losses in overtime. This one, they lose on 3 missed kicks, 2 long field goals, and a missed extra point. And Clemson, the victor, they get to 5-5, 1 win away now from bowl eligibility. Louisville falls to 7-3. Kark.
Woo. How would you categorize that 4th quarter?
Oh, chaotic. You know, listen, first of all, I thought both teams battled their tails off. Both teams made enough mistakes to lose the game, honestly. But, man, I'm just so proud of our guys. I mean, we just kept overcoming. We have critical mistake on the 4th and 1. Defense gets the stop. We go back down and score on the 4th and 1. And then they go back down, and we had just big-time plays on D to create the long field goal. You know, fortunate that he missed it. But, and then obviously the snap. We got a chance to maybe put the game away there. And, man, I ain't nobody I believe more in Florenzo. And, you know, I'm like, he didn't know if he was going back in the game. I said, what are you talking about, dude? You've been here 5 years. You're going back in the game. And he went out there and threw a freaking dart. And that's what it's all about. That's what this season's about. Hey, you get knocked down. It don't always go the way you want. You get yourself up and you go fight. And what you saw tonight was a team. Hey, Zero, man, special, dude. Hey, special. What a great player. You saw a team that would fight to the last second. And again, I thought Louisville played with a ton of heart, too. I love Coach Brom. I think he's one of the best guys in this business. And it's a shame for somebody to lose a game like that. But, you know, our guys have fought their tails off all year, and this was a big one. This was a big one.
It was a big one. And heading into tonight, you're 4-5. But when we spoke this week, you were so positive. You weren't frustrated. And you love this group. This group, it seems like this is a special group. Why?
Because the tougher it's gotten, the closer they've become, the stronger they've gotten, and the more they've dug in. And that's not normal. Not in today's world. That's not normal. Usually when you have some adversity, you divide. People are looking for the sideline or the training room, but not these Tigers, not these seniors. That's the freaking heart of a champion right there. The record don't define you. How you respond is what defines you in everything, in life, in football, and everything. And hey, our record ain't what we want it to be, but we got a hell of a great group of young people right there that just fought their butts off, gave every ounce of everything they had. A lot of people have quit on them. There ain't no quitting that bunch, and there ain't no quitting me. Go Tigers.
Nobody does that like Dabo. This
amazing. Got me fired up.
Of what we've seen in this league. Clemson tonight, 1 for 13 on third down. Only 1 touchdown in 3 red zone trips. 5 dropped passes. Yet they pull out a road win against the top 25 Louisville team. Scott Van Pelt will make sense of it all on SportsCenter.